Welcome back from that break, and you're still on the Hello Africa Morning Show, coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. And just gone by is the top African news, and we are currently just about to start the news review. And I am doing this today with great. So, Jemima, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Strictly resting, nothing more, nothing less.
It actually shows on your face.
Yeah, I'm well rested.
Is that your look for Christmas, or
Oh
should I
no,
expect
this
something
is
else in
this
your
is the prelims. Someone will say, yeah.
So,
Preparing for
Christmas by Jemima. I don't know my left or right yet, but
Oh,
we'll get there.
I don't trust you. But
Oh, there's about
anyways.
a month more for Christmas. Like, we'll be fine.
I know you have plans. I know you have plans. Just that you don't want to talk to us about it, and that's fine.
At this point,
We understand. We'll take it
to be
that way.
honest, I don't have plans. Usually by now I have plans. That's the truth. Usually by now I have plans. But
Don't worry, we'll plan something together.
That would be nice. That would be nice. So back to the news review, and in our first story, we want to begin at home. So the Association of African Universities wrapped up its Africa Universities Week 2025 in Accra last week under the theme, The Future of Learning in Africa, Technology, Innovation, Skills, and Inclusive Growth. Over 5 days, ministers, vice-chancellors, students, and innovators push for curriculum reform, inclusive campuses, and practical tech solutions to Africa's challenges. From the high-level opening symposium to the student ideathon and innovation expo, the week mixed policy debate with hands-on innovation. Panels urge universities to adopt universal design and inclusive tech, noting that accessible education is a basic right, not an add-on. Meanwhile, students and university teams pitched edtech, agri-tech, health tech, and green tech prototype to mentors and potential funders. So that's what happened last week at the Association of African Universities. There was a session also at the UPSA, which was on the Wednesday, which was the main university's celebration day. So that's what happened last weekend. So we're just going to discuss briefly what went into it. So Jemima, your general comments about the entire 5-day program. I mean, we were monitoring from online because it was hybrid from Monday, and then on Wednesday we had a full in-person session. Though a few people joined online, and then we continue on Thursday and Friday again. So your big general comments.
For me, I think the conversation was necessary because it is time Africa we do more than what we are doing currently. And when I say we do more than what we are doing currently, I'm trying to say that there has been a lot of technological, how should I put it, innovative ideas in our education. But it looks like Africa, we are still more or less still fixed on how we used to do things. And mind you, if not for the fact that COVID came in 2019, we would have still been stuck with a lot of normal or the normalcy which we go to the class to go for classes, go for lectures, and then come home. Everything would have been, static. But with COVID coming in, we realized that we had to shift. And even though COVID is maybe gone, if I should put it that way, we are still not, we've still pushed away that side of innovative idea that we were able to capture during those times. But I think, in all, the conversation was very necessary. It is time Africa, we move from the normal ways of doing things and embrace the world and its innovative ideas that are, spanning up.
I totally agree with you. That just tells me that when it comes to higher education or the higher education space, especially with AAU, we are doing well because we are able to do in-person sessions and able to do online stuff, which generally still gives us all the feedback or the results that we are looking for at every given time. And I love the mention of technology because I also feel like we are in that space where we must maximize everything technology gives us. So kudos to AAU and all our members who helped us achieve this feat last week during the AAU Week, Africa Universities Week Celebration 2025. So let's do some highlights of some of the sessions. So personally, my highlights will come from the 12th, which was the Wednesday.
Okay.
The session we had at the UPSA, particularly the second discussion that had to do with people with disability, where we had various panelists, including the moderator himself, having some form of disabilities, but they did everything to the best of my knowledge. I can tell you it was a fantastic session because I didn't see, I mean, if you were probably just listening, you could not tell that
these people are
have some sort of
in one way or the other.
So I was completely impressed. And the very things they talked about, it just tells me that if we do more, like you said in your general comments, if we do well and we make sure that we are handling these things the way they must be handled, especially technology, we will do great stuff. It was just a shame some of them, like the president for the little persons, what's her name, Sophia Ichampo, she did mention issues where she had to unfortunately deal with campus security sometimes, you know, resulting in some sort of altercation and things like that, which I think is unfortunate. I mean, when it comes to respect, I feel like it must be a general thing across board. I mean, you cannot discriminate because of the size of a person and all of these things. It was just unfortunate, but I'm glad that she was able to rise past that and she's still doing
she's
what
doing
she has
very
to do.
well. For me, I think that, I mean, I side with you, that conversation was very needed because in our communities, you know, even as normal communities, when we see people who are, I mean, this little kind of people, we have some form of perception in our minds. And sometimes I try to put myself in these people's shoes, how they feel. I mean, when you are being given birth to, and then you realize you are not as the normal human being as you are seeing. Everybody is going up, and then you are just a bit stagnant in your height and everything. I mean, that whole form of stress, and I mean, it could lead you into a form of a lot of depression and then all that. But I would like to throw a few lights on certain things that were mentioned. And I mean, it is seen that when it comes to African students, we are very, I mean, universities, we are very rigid. We have a rigid structure that, I mean, unintentionally, it excludes some form of people, like the disabled people, like refugees, and then all these people. I mean, for instance, what you said, sometimes we need to, building a university, we should make it very open to any kind of persons that we are able to admit in the university community. And also, I'm talking about the universal designs where, I mean, still campuses and then classrooms are not friendly at all. I mean, imagine this, I mean, little persons trying to get to a class. I think she even made an example where she was going to the class and then where she was, and then the classroom was very far. So she decided to take a car, and then the security said, no, you can't take a car. And I mean, you should understand that these people should be given some form of priority when it comes to some form of treatment. Because, I mean, in one way or the other, they are not like the normal we human beings as we are. And also, the rigid admissions when it comes to African universities, sometimes the cutoff is too rigid to the extent that some people are not able to meet the cutoff point. We should be able to, you know, make room for people. I'm not saying we should make room for people who fail, no, but there should be an open structure that we are able to, regardless of where you find yourself in marks or however you pass, there should be a chance for you at certain points to also have access to education. And then I also talk about our outdated curriculum. Currently, that is a problem because we realize that even as we all have been students, I realize that we go to schools and then we always have our lecturers talking to us, and then you get to the work environment and you realize it is different. You realize you need more, and those are conversations lecturers do not have with us. They come, they teach you the theory, they do their best to do what they can do. But sometimes I think our curriculum should be modified to suit the current trends that we have. And also, we also need to improve upon our exam assessment platforms. We are mostly used to the paper, going to class, having the paper and writing, and then the lecturer takes it. But we should open more to the technological platforms and how wherever you are, you can have access. I think Sophia made mention that sometimes she wants to be home and then teach her students, but it's like she doesn't have that option. So she always has to be in class, and then that is sometimes uncomfortable because of her disability. So these are the few ones I would like to touch on.
Very interesting things, and I particularly also want to say that the rigid nature of our curriculum is a thing I would really love to see some change in, because you have regular people doing almost this structure more or less fits regular people, and we don't make room for people living with some form of disability, and it's absolutely wrong. When Professor Mpra also was speaking, I was even impressed to know that he's deaf but he's able to speak. So apparently throughout the session, what I noticed was that because he's deaf and he cannot hear, there's somebody that sits in front of him and interprets through sign language. So that's how he's able to know this is what we are saying, and he's able to speak. Okay, and I was just too impressed. And this is a professor from KNUS.
Yeah, so you even imagine how they are able to, you know, do so well. You understand, do so well and get these titles as professors, as doctors, and we even sometimes the normal humans build we do not even we do not even exactly.
So these are examples of people who just will tell you that if we give the room for proper development and friendly environments to people living with disability, like they will do so well. We cannot imagine what they can bring. So I'm just happy to know that, for example, this current government in Ghana has passed I don't know if I should call it a bill or whatever, but basically now persons living with disability can go to school, to the university without paying anything. And I'm so excited about it. The other thing I would want to see beyond the university is that once we are trying to give them education, employers must have room for employment for them. Formerly, we would reduce employment for these people to toll booth. And then they are there collecting money. But now we are not even using the toll booths anymore. Okay, so we need to find a way to accommodate them into regular society without looking down on them. And because the things that I saw on Wednesday, the moderation by Mr. Alexander Williams, he's blind.
Honestly, I didn't know he was blind, to be honest. I thought when they were bringing him, I mean, when he was walking to the stage, but I thought, okay, maybe it's just a blurry. I never knew he was that blind. Because when he took the mic to talk and I listened to him, I was like, oh, wow. And then I could see, and then later he was saying that, okay, there is something that was talking to him.
Because he had a laptop.
And then he had a laptop, so I'm like,
so
I felt it was maybe his eyes were a bit blurry, but not totally blind, until he mentioned that he's absolutely blind. I was like, okay. I mean, these people are doing so well. To be able to even get the title of a professor, I mean, it's very awesome.
It's just amazing. So it just tells you how much everybody can do, regardless of the kind of disability they may be living with. And then also to touch on Mrs. Lolovi's conversation about refugees, I was sad to know that people who come from other African countries who come to school in Ghana are made to sometimes backtrack and go, probably because they are unable to come here with some sort of certification. We have to push them back to JHS to go through the process. So imagine somebody who has done SHS or whatever in their country, and for some reason they have become refugees in Ghana. And so they have to go back to JHS to be able to get a BEC certificate before they are accepted into SHS. This leaves them like many years behind the academic ladder, which I feel is not Cool. Meanwhile, in West Africa, the exam WASI is written by West African countries.
Yes.
So imagine there's a person from another West African country. What stops us from admitting this person into the university straight away? Things of these things. So, but I'm glad that at least there are some reforms going on to make sure that these kinds of things will not be happening, going forward. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's great. And then to get into one other thing we can also talk about, on Friday, there was the Innovation Expo, which featured health tech, agri-tech, food science, green tech, things to absolutely, make, what's it called, us know the things that our students are doing when it comes to innovation in Africa. And I was completely like, look, I can't find an adjective to describe how I felt. Like, I just was so impressed to see the things that these young people have
doing.
Yeah, and one of the things I was particularly impressed about has to do with food security. There's a major thing we are dealing with in Africa because, for example, in recent times, the whole of last week, one of the things that has been going on in Ghana, there's a food glut in the systems. Farmers are unable to sell their poultry farmers, particularly, are unable to sell their eggs. Rice farmers are unable to sell their rice. There's harvest of rice from last year, which has not been sold. Meanwhile, this year they are harvesting rice again. All these things is the reason the president of Ghana has given the directive to the schools to purchase only local rice and then local eggs and whatever, so that the farmers can be able to make some money. So I was just glad to know that when it comes to food security, these young people are thinking about it. Because two schools, I think University of Ghana and academic, came up with some innovation that allows you to process our vegetables and keep them in a dried way. Like, I was just too impressed. And the packaging was
very great.
And to even know that they are going through the FDA processes so that they have FDA approval and eventually have a proper shelf life for this. Like, I was just impressed. Absolutely. I don't know what you thought about it.
I mean, it was great. It was actually great. But we'll give a minute to our viewers. So we'll call for. There's a video to this. So kindly watch your screens and see what happened at the innovation.
Exactly.
Fair.
Okay, it looks like we have a bit of a technical challenge in there, so we'll move on to the next story, which is rather on a sad note, after we have celebrated all of these interesting things with the AU. But it's worth talking about anyway because it's key. So the Deputy Defense Minister of Ghana, Roger Jemfi, has announced that one family member of each of the 6 victims who died in the Elwak Stadium stampede will be given an opportunity for automatic enlistment into the Ghana Armed Forces if they choose to serve. He clarified that although the pathway removes the usual competition, the selected relatives will still undergo standard assessment to ensure they meet military requirements. The Deputy Minister made the announcement during visits to bereaved families on the instructions of President John Dramani Mahama, who has extended government's condolences. He also emphasized that recruitment opportunities exist nationwide, noting that the tragedy was worsened by the heavy concentration of applicants in Accra, despite openings in all regions. This congestion contributed to the fatal during the exercise. And this is really sad. This story, unfortunately, 6 lives were lost. 6 young ladies lost their lives just because of the stampede that happened at the Elwak Stadium. And I'm deeply saddened by it because personally I know one of the ladies who lost her lives. She's a daughter of one of our pastors. And I was lost for words when I heard this, because I saw, the last time I saw her was in August when we had our church's youth camp. That's when I saw her.
For me, I have a friend whose cousin was part of it, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, but I would want you to, start with a discussion because I have a lot to say about this story.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I really want us to take it right from the beginning. I mean, let's talk about the Ghana Armed Forces recruitment. They are recruiting. I'm sure, and I learned the recruitment is done online. Yeah. And you see people apply.
Yeah.
You know the number of people who have applied. And we allowed this number of people to come to a particular location. Do we need people to tell us that having this number of people could lead to this or lead to that or that? I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the videos, but I saw people being whipped. People's kids being whipped because I am here to apply for a job. Yeah. And I am whipped for what? For not getting access to where I'm supposed to go, or for the fact that there hasn't been proper planning, so that, I mean, there is quite a good amount of number of people at a particular place at a particular time. And now that this has happened, you think picking a member of this family to recruit them is the solution? I mean, this could have been prevented.
It could have been prevented.
This could have, really been prevented. Yeah. You have over 2,000 youth. I'm here to, I leave the house, I tell my parents, yeah. I'm going to search for a job. Yeah. And then I come out and then I meet my untimely death, which could have been prevented if good measures were put in place. Yeah. And I asked myself, how did we get here? So much how. I think last 2 weeks we had a series of stories and I kept asking how. Yes, how do we need people to come and tell us that when we have this amount of people at a place, this is what will happen? And you see people being whipped, people climbing walls, and you think the solution is recruiting a member of a family into the Ghana Armed Forces.
I actually think that even should come with some level of compensation. The truth is you can't compensate.
You can't compensate. This is a life lost. You can't compensate.
No amount of money can compensate for anybody's life. But even if you are recruiting somebody from these families, one person who have automatic whatever, regardless of going through the processes, that's fine. It makes sense to me. But I feel like there should be some level of compensation when it comes to money.
Even the funny thing is that this issue appeared in Parliament, and you have the MP for Pusiga and the Greater Accra Minister there to have some, come on, put yourself in these people's shoes. There should be some form of empathy. Yeah. You are leaders, you are voted into power, and you have people that you lead. You hear the MP for Pusiga saying that this is ordained by Allah, and then whatever we do, it is their time for them to die. Look, mind you, if it was your kid that was there, would you make the statement?
It was so insensitive.
Very insensitive.
To a certain extent, I understand where she was coming from, but regardless, it's still insensitive.
Very, very insensitive. No, but you can't even put Allah or God in this. No, this is a preventable situation.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying, that regardless of what you mean, how this thing came out is because, like you rightly said, if it was your child, would you make this statement? Who has lost somebody in this tragic incident? How cool is this?
Exactly.
On the floor of Parliament.
And then you hear the Greater Accra Minister saying that it's a matter of attitude. The people are there, and then now you tell them that so those who applied for this go home and come back the next day. You knew you had the time to put this in place, but you waited and had everybody at the same location. And now that there were issues, you are now telling them that those who applied for this category go home and come on Saturday, go home and come on Sunday. Mind you, people, all of them are not from Accra. We have people flying in from the north, every part of Ghana. And I come in, I don't have, is there even provisions made for where people will sleep? No, everybody is coming. Exactly, everybody is coming with their own.
With the videos I saw, all of the people who were crowded there were in an open space, and the sun literally scorches so bad.
And the fact is that they were even there, and then they were even there from 2 a.m.
Many people came at dawn.
Why?
Because they know. You see, I feel like this whole thing is coming from a place of complacency in the first place. Because number one, year after year, this is how the process of the recruitment for the military has always
Yeah, I heard.
happened.
Is it their
So
PR?
it
He
always
said
happens
something like that.
That does not mean that because it
Yeah,
happens
you don't
every time,
improve.
You cannot improve the process. Look, you see these things time after time when you're doing recruitment. It is only, excuse me to say, common sense to show you that you must be able to build on this process.
I mean,
It's
you've
just
had this thing.
unfortunate.
I listened to. I don't know if it's their PR or something. He was like, they've had series of recruitment every year. They do it, and then nobody has lost. Is it when are we waiting for somebody to lose their life before
that's a clear
we
situation of
oh, go ahead.
an African
This
setting.
issue is
That's a clear situation of an African setting. In Africa, these are the things that we
So
do.
we are waiting for
often
an
waiting
incident.
or until something happens. Nobody wants to think.
I mean, this should equally
Unfortunately.
tell us the level of unemployment in Ghana.
Absolutely.
Because if over
Yeah.
2,000,
Yeah.
and then one funny thing that I'm realizing is that when it comes to these sectors, you know the number of people you want to recruit. If
Yeah.
let's say you want
I hear they are
150,
looking for about just 4,000 people or so.
and then
So-
you have like why?
So one of the challenges I also have is this. I hear they sold a form for about 200 cities, and per the numbers that they sold, when you do the calculation of the figures, they are making about 12 million cities.
Exactly, and
I
you
don't
know
think
that all these people will not get
Yes.
get into the
So
force.
I feel like-
so why do you? I mean, you want even if you let's say you want 100 people, you open the portal, you let people apply. Even if let's say you can take 200 because maybe you want to give room for some other people. Maybe some people might not qualify, and then you might not get the 100 from the 100 you are looking for. So maybe you can open it up to maybe 200 or 250. Then you look at the kind of people you get, and then you bring them on board. But you overtake, and then knowing consciously
You know
in your
how many
mind that
ones.
you are not going to get all these people in the force. So why do you do
feel
that?
Like it's a rip-off. These young people do not have jobs. They're trying to find jobs. They're trying to
Exactly.
make money off them as well.
How can I
It's
leave
not
my
fair.
house coming for a security job, and the security there is not even,
Yes.
there's no
So
good
the
security?
painful part is that we know the army for discipline, but on this part,
It's zero.
like zero,
Zero discipline. And then now it is in that we want to take one member of each family
That
to
thing-
recruit.
that thing-
And then, funny enough, I was reading the
It's
story.
not-
The
it's not
story
enough
said
damage control.
they still would want to go through the process and see if the person is qualified. Really?
Well, to be fair, going to the army, you need to be screened because it is more of a physical.
So what if you
thing.
screen all the members of the family and none of them are able to?
That one really we can't do much about because we don't have to lower the
God.
standards because of the situation.
I don't even think
But-
that is necessary. It's like you are trying to make it up to them, but it will not work.
So this damage control, that's what I'm saying, it's not enough. That's why I'm saying that I feel it should even come with some level of monetary compensation, because to automatically pick somebody from one of these families, that's fine. But some monetary compensation must be made. Because, for example, this girl I'm talking about, imagine their parents having trained their child from preparatory school, primary school, whatever, GHS, SHS, and now to look for a job all these years. I mean, like,
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense, and
so
nobody
much doesn't
deserves
make
it
sense.
in any way.
You
So-
can't go out, in search of a job at a security
Yeah.
firm, and then the security there is like a zero.
Yeah.
That's equal. Now I look at, the youth, and then I look at the high unemployment rate that we have, and how people are really in search of jobs.
Yeah.
And are
It
so
is
much
crazy.
willing to do anything to
It is
to
crazy.
get a job.
It is
This should be a wake up call for Ghana, because now everything is on hold, right?
Yeah.
And
For those in Accra, is on hold, but I understand other regions were able to go through whatever they had to go through. I listened to some of our state radio stations where they interview people in other regions, in Tamale and other places, who had their processes go through successfully without this kind of tragedy. I feel like this one in Accra could have been totally avoided.
And then
it's so not good.
I think there were also videos of the parents of these young
Yes.
ladies,
Yeah.
and you could see how hurt.
Yeah, the
Like
pain,
these,
the
and
agony,
then
whatever
you
they're
as a
dealing with
member
right
of
now.
parliament, you sit in parliament and make. Imagine I am a family member of one of these, and then I go on the internet, and then the first video I
come
chanced
across is that,
is the
yeah,
MP for Pusiga
yeah,
saying that
yeah.
it is Allah who ordained them to die today.
That's so wrong. It's so wrong, regardless. But solution-wise, the minister for the interior minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak has, come out, made some statements as a result of the situation. So basically, they are shifting things online now. So they'll automate the screening as well. They'll allocate whatever to reduce overcrowding and all of the human errors, and then they'll make sure that.
That's my problem.
The question anybody would want to ask is,
why didn't you do this? And you were waiting for people to die before you feel like there is an urgent need for improvement.
It's wrong. It's wrong. So at least some sort of answers that we are looking for are beginning to come up right now, but we shouldn't have waited for this thing to.
But mind you, this whole thing, there would equally be problems, because challenges on using the USSD code on how to access platform and then all that. There will be network jam. There will be. I mean, there's a whole lot. You see, this still this like an improvement of what AAU did. There should be some form of there should be some form of openness on how to make technology work.
Exactly.
We are too stacked. Yeah. We are too stacked. Yeah. And we have to look at ways where we will be able to improve some digital platforms where people can. I mean, nowadays, everything is done on the phone, on your laptop, when you have your internet. And I was listening to an interview where someone made reference to something that Obama said when he came to Ghana, and then Obama said something like, if we want to have a good democratic country, then we should invest more in our institutions, and that is what we need to do, because this story shouldn't have happened. I mean, this whole thing shouldn't have happened at all. And
it's sad to say that if this thing didn't happen, I can bet you that
we'll go next year and then the same.
We'll exactly. Have a crowd like this at the Elwak Stadium and every other center in the country, having all of these people gathered, and then there'll be. It's just unfortunate, but I just pray and hope that the resolutions that have come up will work. If it doesn't, it is the reason we have to improve on the process every time. So, and then mind you,
I think, what do you think about, I mean, people are calling the government to do something about the people, the people in the office, and I mean, what has been happening. What do you think about that?
Well,
I mean, people are saying that those in the various offices should be held accountable, or should resign, or should be put on hold.
Yeah.
And then all that.
Yeah. So for me, anybody that needs to be put in their rightful place must be put there.
Okay.
Look, I need systems. I love it when systems are working.
Exactly, and we need that.
Systems including people. So wherever anything must go, anybody must do whatever, however, it should happen. Yeah. So that we sort ourselves out and then that's about it. Because it's just too much of these kinds of, like, I believe we can have systems. I know that life is not perfect. So the systems may not be perfect either. But we should be able to make things happen such that human errors like this can be reduced. Yeah. And tragedies. That's I mean to a large extent. So I just hope that these new resolutions will work out, and then things will go well, and then we will be fine, going forward.
So before we move on, I think there are some comments that are coming in. Yeah. I think this one is from Inshira from the Accra Technical University, and she says this shows the difficulties our youth face in finding gainful employment, so much so that a job for a relative is considered an appropriate compensation for a loss of life during a recruitment exercise. I wonder how I would feel if I got a job only because a relative lost his or her life.
How would this person be feeling knowing that they are there because they lost a relative?
Exactly. I don't think this compensation is enough. Let's not even think about compensation, because the whole compensation thing is not really going well for me. I mean, and this from Christian from Kumasi, and he said young people have lost their lives through the negligence of governments, and this is their reward. What if there is no one in the family who is interested in joining the military? What a shame.
Absolutely.
That's what the person is saying. So that's what I said. That what if none of them qualifies?
Yeah, so I feel like this thing is not enough. There should be some monetary compensation.
Monetary,
look, the truth is that money will not buy anybody's life.
Exactly.
But you can't make the only compensation one person from the family to automatic. No,
it doesn't work.
I mean, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I think there's another story, another comment. Yeah, you want to take that?
Okay. Well, it says that I think the minister.
I'm sure that's the
minister's intention to settle the deceased family with giving each member an outlet to be enrolled. The military should rather create a fund to pay an amount of monthly salaries to their respective parents. That is from Charles from Spintex.
Now people are beginning to want to cash out.
I mean, this story is I don't know. I have a whole feeling about this whole thing.
It's wrong.
It's so wrong.
There's a lot of things wrong about it. So I just hope that the solutions will not be more wrong.
Yeah.
Than the problem has already caused. I mean, we need to work.
We need to wake up as Ghana.
Yeah, wake up and work our way around many of these issues. So I just want to say to the family of Reverend Philip Kale, condolences to you on behalf of the rest of the youth fellowship of the Lost Pentecostal Church International. We know how much Benedicta means to all of you. So hold on tight, and we pray that God will keep you and comfort you in this very difficult time. We'll move on to the next story, which takes us all the way into Nigeria. So the Nigerian government has cancelled a controversial policy that required early education to be conducted in indigenous languages instead of English. Introduced 3 years ago to improve learning outcomes by teaching children in their mother tongue. The policy has been scrapped due to poor academic results and widespread failure in major exams like WAEC, NECO, and JAMB. I mean, it's funny. I mean, but we'll get to it in the discussion. Education Minister Tunji Alosa announced the immediate reinstatement of English as the medium of instruction from pre-primary through university. The decision has sparked mixed reactions among educators, parents, and analysts, highlighting tensions between preserving Nigeria's linguistic heritage and meeting practical educational and economic needs. This is interesting for me because
I don't know why you are laughing.
I tell you the portion of the script that says because of poor academic results and widespread failure in like in my mind it doesn't work. I'm trying to see the correlation between not passing the exams because of your indigenous local language.
You know,
I want to understand further.
No, but you know that these exams are mostly in English. Let me say they are in English. You understand? And if you are based, or let me say you are so much into your local languages, getting there and getting more understanding. Because mind you, I mean, the general thing is that when you are beginning your educational journey, your basis should be very strong. And if I'm starting my basis with my local languages, let's say in Ghana here, I'm using the Chi and the Ga and now I get somewhere and then I have to now focus more on English language because I'm preparing myself for the WAEC exam and the JAM and the rest. That is somewhat like too late because the early stages I should have got that strong fundamental positioning. Or you still do not agree?
No, now I get you. You have explained. Thank you for that. So I'm beginning to see in between the lines now. So the question I would want to ask is this, or what is on my mind is this: was this policy thought through very well
before it was implemented?
Because we need to know that every policy may have its own repercussion. I mean, basically everything in life does. So it is up to you to decide whether you would choose this because of the number of good things you would get, you benefit from that.
I think there was something like that coming to Ghana.
Yes, a few weeks ago we talked about it on the show. So in this particular situation, national exams remain in English. Creating a disconnect between classroom instruction and standardized testing, which may have contributed to the high failure rate. So And now I'm beginning to understand. If you're trying to make these things indigenous for the children or the school kids in Nigeria, and so you are impressing that their mother tongues and all of these things should be used, yet your exams remain in English, then there's a contrast there.
You see, that's the main reason why you do not even have to start with the local languages. Because this exam is like the WAEC, like this is a West Africa kind of exam. You understand? So we cannot say that Nigerians will write in their local dialect in Ghana. I mean, these countries. Yeah, so from the beginning, I think maybe I'm also asking the same question, that was it thought through well before it was implemented? Because if it was, we would have seen some of these loopholes coming in for this kind of general exam, and then knowing that it is English that is mostly used. Yeah,
and you see, I'm concerned because it is a policy that was implemented. When it comes to governance, one of the major challenges I have, especially with education, is that in Africa, the people that implement or bring up policies for implementation, for some reason, they don't educate their kids, or most of their kids, in the same system. So,
so in other words, they mess up the system, and then whilst their children are outside, I mean, getting the best of
I've always said that
education.
if I ever had a chance to be a president in any country, one of the things I'll do is to have a national conversation about finance, health, education.
Yeah, I'll even put education first.
Yes, so finance, health, education.
Yeah.
I've always had 4 things in mind. I can't remember the last one. These things must have a national agenda such that anybody that comes after me as president will make sure that they are following the thing. Yeah. Because look at the case of Ghana when it comes to education. We have come from O level to A level, like those ones are in the past, no problem. Yeah. Then we came to secondary school level at a point, then they said, when it was during president's first time, and back then it was 3 years, and they said we should do 2.5 years. So I'm part of the batch that did 2.5 years. Then we came back to 3 years. Now we came to 4 years, and now like, why are we toying?
We are confused.
With, I don't think it's confusion.
We are confused.
Honestly, I don't think it's confusion.
Then what is it?
I feel like when people are doing governance, they just want to have a policy, or they have something in mind and say, when we come, I want to do this. But they don't think through the thing properly, because this is a clear case of what has happened in Nigeria. If you want to make use of your indigenous languages, that's not a problem, because I believe in identity. Wherever you come from across the world, in Africa, in Europe, Asia, wherever, your identity is key. That one of the things that gives you proper identity is your language. So stick to it. Okay, but don't say that the standardized things like English, like in Ghana we do French, and so like don't try to rubbish them in such a way. Sometimes we make it look like we don't need it at all, because English is taking over. For example, in Ghana, it's taking over. In many homes. And look, if you are a parent in the home, that is where you train your child for your local dialects.
Exactly. In school, you don't expect the school to do that for you.
In school, the kid has to do 6, 7 subjects, all of them taught in English. You don't expect all these subjects being taught in Chi, in Ga, in Ever. Like, so I want to imagine
when you made mention of the English, the Ever, I just, something just came in mind. We are all not accounts, you understand? So if everybody wants to say that,
teaching this in class?
Exactly. If everybody wants to say that I want my local dialect being used as the language for teaching, we have Ewe, we have Chi, we have Hausa, we have all these languages. So how are we going to combine and have?
So for example, this is Accra, a child schools in Accra, and you see probably because Accra is for the Gans, but there's a kid that came from the Volta region and is schooling here.
In fact, even those here,
not everybody even speaks Gan.
Myself, I can't even speak Gan.
But most of us grew up in Accra. So look at it. So I'm just trying to be modest in this example. So a kid comes from the Volta region, and this kid can speak himself.
I don't know.
He has to be learning in Gan, which he has never spoken. Like, we need to contextualize these things properly, so that when we implement them,
we are lacking.
Yeah, so that when we implement them, because at least I know a few families, for example, who do not live in Ghana, but they are Ghanaians, they live in the US, but their kids speak our local languages. Why? Because both parents have made sure that even though the kids do not live in Ghana, they are teaching them the local language. Once or twice in a year, or at least in a space of 5 years, they bring the kids to Ghana to spend a month or 2 during vacations. So that then they are fraternizing with people here, with their families, and they are learning. people, there are many people who don't live who are speaking
Yeah,
there. Look,
of
so
course.
why are we getting it wrong when it comes to policy and implementation, when it comes to governance?
Our education system needs a lot of scrutiny. We need to really look at, and even let me just take the conversation. Let me just open up the conversation a little. I think a few weeks ago I was online where a mother in Nigeria, I mean, she was saying that, okay, so she just picked a book from the daughter's bag to just see what they've been studying all this while, and to her shock, she saw Yemi Alade's Johnny Leave Me Follow Cynthia in the textbook, all from head to toe. And she asked the daughter, I mean, how come this music is... I mean, there are a lot of songs in Nigeria that you could put in a textbook. Yeah. So the kid was like, is that creative art textbook? And then that is what it has. But that particular song... for that particular, I think she said the daughter is 8 or 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. And that song being, I don't know if you know the song, but I know exactly. You have such a song for a kid of that age, and it's the whole song.
This is not nice.
You understand? I mean, it boils down to the fact that the education system, we need to do something. We need to open ourselves to technology. We need to open ourselves to innovative ideas on how to, I mean, do well when it comes to education. Because I don't know.
This conversation is interesting because you see, this same kids, just within the age bracket you mentioned, and the 12 years. Some of these kids in the other parts of the world, in Asia, are doing robotics, are doing...
And we are here learning Johnny Leave Me Follow Cynthia.
Like, why are we getting these things wrong? I'm glad that some schools now are seeing these things. So for many schools now, they will do compulsory French classes, swimming lessons, piano lessons.
Yeah, we are trying to.
We are trying. But
a lot needs to be done.
Like the amount of effort I want to see in the trying is almost like, it's not even up to 10% of what we want to see.
And in fact, a lot of schools are not even doing that. It's just those few schools who are trying to open themselves up. Exactly. Yeah. So now what happens to the government schools? Exactly. And even those government schools, that's where we have a lot of population.
Yes.
A lot of people
the masses are in those areas.
Exactly. It's just a few ones who are in the private sector.
So at the end of the day, look, somebody said, when this tragedy happened, this 6-year-old died, one influencer on Twitter or X, I just saw his post when that thing happened. He says, our systems are designed always to fail us.
Exactly.
In Africa, our systems are always designed. Look, it will take a smart person to think about this and try to work their way out of it.
So, it's so difficult. And I also feel like where we have come, I mean, Ghana is what,
64, 65 years.
You know,
I mean,
we've come a long way, and if we have to now change a lot of systems, I mean, it will take a lot. That's what all I have to say.
It's sad to say that when we compare ourselves to other worlds, like I'm just so sad to say that when you look at the gap in development, it feels like it's like 50 years.
That's why people will leave Africa and go and get education
almost
somewhere.
Every week, I see on X people who are bold enough to post their journey when they are flying out of Africa.
Oh yeah, they will. Oh, why won't you?
Never again.
Yeah,
even this one, this morning on my way, I saw a video. Before I got on my way to work, I saw a video and the person is saying, has said something. I mean, I have bookmarked that video. I want to go and watch it. The person is saying, the caption there is 20 reasons why I'll never return to Africa.
Okay.
20 reasons.
Why I'll
never return.
Oh, but so, I mean, guys, it's not that bad.
It depends on what this person has seen.
Yeah, okay. Well, everybody has experiences. Yeah,
I mean, because when you live in a system where it has taken you more than 30 years or 40 years to be able to work your way out of Africa, okay, or to maybe travel out of Africa for the first time, you may understand this.
Oh, it's true. For that one, I think it's very, very true, because you realize that you go to certain places and systems are working. You see, you do not, everything is just structured. So whatever you set out your mind to do, the system is there to support you and not to be against you.
But it is not the same in Africa.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah,
because
there's a message here from Chidinma from Lagos. She says it's okay to have English as a common language. My only concern is that will students be sanctioned for speaking their native languages in school? Very good question, legitimate question. I remember back then in school we used to flog. We used to be flogged and punished for speaking Yoruba, and I didn't take it, and I didn't like that idea at all.
Oh, but that's true. I mean, even in Ghana,
we have done that when we were in primary school.
Yeah.
Your class prefect boldly tells you, I'm writing names of Tokati, that's one, and then I'm writing names of people speaking vernacular. Like, really? Really? But this is us again having the same conversation because of other reasons. Well, we'll leave that conversation for another day, but generally, we need to do better when it comes to these things in Africa. And when it comes to policy and implementation with regards to education particularly, I mean, it's very key. Anyway, so we'll move on. We'll take a break, and then when we come back, Jemima will get us into lifestyle. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with aautv. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on aautv. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. aautv reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch aautv free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at aautv. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. aautv, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Welcome back from the break, and this is the Hello Africa Morning Show, and you're welcome to the lifestyle segment. My name is Jemima Doladam. So I'm sure during the course of the weekend we've seen a lot happening, especially when it comes to the tidal rave. So we are doing the tidal rave as our first story. So under the glowing West African sunset, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel came alive as Tidal Rave Festival 2025 wrapped up its electrifying second day. The event, now in its 5th edition, attracted thousands of music lovers from Ghana and beyond for a vibrant celebration of Afrobeat, high life, and electronic music. Headlined by Ghana's very own Black Sharif and Nigeria's Aria Star, the festival delivered unforgettable performances that had the beach pulsing with energy. The diverse lineup also featured rising stars like Molly, Jackie, Darko Vibes, and Kweku Smoke, ensuring a non-stop wave of soulful melodies and floor anthems. But Tidal Rave is more than just music. It's an art installation, the buzzing Absa Spark Zone with makeovers and games, the local foods vendors serving jollof rice, grilled tilapia, and a whole lot which we saw over the weekend. Videos everywhere on TikTok, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, everywhere was flooded with videos of what was happening at Tidal Reef. But Phil, did you, when it comes to these stories, my first question to you would be, did you attend?
I did not attend.
Why didn't you? But have you attended any
I attended the 2023 one. That one was done somewhere along Bochian, one of the beaches around on your way towards Kaswa.
Okay, and how was that?
It was crazy. It was crazy. The crowd. Mm-hmm. Look, I don't know. I drove, and look, the amount of time you spend from the main junction of the main Kaswa Road to like it was like 2 or 3 kilometers, but the traffic.
The traffic alone.
And so look, that day I wish. Well, that's one of the days I wish I wasn't driving a car.
Yeah,
because
you can
the
just
people who had come by Ubers,
yeah,
taxis,
can just get
you
down.
see, as those of us in traffic driving, these guys,
I just walk
they
into
were just
work.
got down from their vehicles, paid off, and then you see many cars turning around, but you cannot turn around because you're driving.
Yeah.
And then they are walking, and if I even look where I parked my car, crazy. Then after parking, I have to find a way to get into the place. It's another different story because at the gate they're asking for a tag. They're like, but I hear the CS one didn't have that kind of a challenge because it was made easy for people to enter. But for me, the crowd control is the major thing because what I saw in 2023 was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
For me, I think first I'll take it from the fact that mostly when we are having these shows, first of all, I saw a program outline. I don't know if I should call it a program outline on Tidal Rave's page on TikTok, where it shows who is performing at what time. And per what I saw, Black Sherif was performing at 5 p.m., which I know a lot of people had issues with because it looks like they wanted to jam to his songs. And I mean, it didn't go so well for people. And seeing for the first time, I think we are doing something right because when it comes to shows like this, you realize that a place to the mostly said phrase till mama calls.
Exactly.
In fact, till the next day, like about 4 a.m., 5 a.m. before you see people going home. But then you realize that I think around 11 or 12 things were dying off. Yeah, things were. You see, it's good that you do things the right way because that's something that people have been complaining about. That mostly when there are these shows, the artists do not come early. They come at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Oh, so they want so let me understand. Did they want the artists to show up early?
So they want a good they want a good time where people would. I mean a good time. Let's say if a program is starting at 10 p.m. Okay, why? And then let's say it's. I don't want to mention any artist.
Let's make examples.
Okay, so for instance, let's say Shatawale is organizing a concert, and then you're the one organizing a concert. I'm not saying Shatawale does that. I'm just making an instance. You come like 2 a.m.
Okay.
How is that?
Okay, I get what
I mean, you keep the audience waiting till
for too long.
Yeah,
okay,
but in as much as they didn't like the fact that Black Sherif performed too early, I just feel like it's a good start where now we do not have to complain that the artist came like 2 a.m.
But
then
doesn't it mess up the program because if he's the headline act, so
but he made a video. Black Sherif made a video that at 5 p.m. he will be performing. Exactly. Okay. So if you want to watch Black Sherif, then that means you should have left your home like
what I want
one.
To know is, so if Black will performed at 5 p.m. And I don't know what time the show.
Molly performed at 6.
Okay.
Olive the Boy performed at 6:30.
What time did Ira Star perform?
Ira Star performed at 10 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It makes sense.
That makes sense. Because I would say that they are the two biggest acts.
No, but I mean, I don't know why they put Black Sherif first. Yeah, I feel like he should have been in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I also would have preferred to see probably between Blacko and Arasta, one of them comes after the other. Probably around the same time.
I feel like
to do Blacko around 5 p.m. and 5 hours apart, then Arasta comes on.
I also feel like if you put both one, then the next person comes, it feels like, they are the up there kind of stars. If I should put it that way. So if you put both of them there, it's like my people have performed. So
that's about it.
Yeah. So that's about it.
But funny enough, that's what keeps the show going. Look, there are certain things when it comes to shows we cannot run away from because like there's a certain exciting time within the show. Whether you like it or not. It is the reason, for example, people show up at the nightclub around 11 p.m.
because they are expecting some form of fun.
Okay. Those who go at 7, 8, 9, 10, they don't really have any fun until around 11 when the thing. So when people want to get around 11, that's when the ballers in quotes are showing up. So unless the show was supposed to be ending at maybe 11 or 12 midnight, then I can say, okay, that's a good fit. But
Yeah.
if it was going to be going to like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., maybe there was something wrong with the timing. But well,
But did you see videos?
Oh, the videos are crazy, especially outfits.
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 I was asking myself a question. I was asking if there is a
dress code. I feel like there's a dress code. Maybe some of us haven't received that memo.
Because I mean, everybody was in a type of outfit,
Yes.
which spans across.
I like how you put it. A type of
outfit, and you could see that going like everybody.
Yeah.
But well, anyway.
But for me, I'm sad to know that it was mostly ladies, which I feel.
It was what?
It was the ladies who were in. Those and I am saddened by that because, like, look, society sexualizes ladies, which I think is not a great thing.
I think it's sometimes also how the ladies position themselves. Because when I saw videos, I mean, in as much as some of them were looking nice, I just felt like it was a bit.
The majority of the people were crazy.
It was
Crazy.
It was just.
I just don't want to go into that conversation, but well, it is what it is.
But it was a nice show. I mean, I saw videos.
The performances were lit.
Great.
Were lit.
It was great.
Great
I
show.
mean, Shatta Wale gifted people phones.
Yeah.
Molly also gifted some T-shirts out, and it was. I mean, it was great. What more can we expect?
It was a great show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to the next story.
So we'll take the next story, which talks about governments to eject 20 million Ghana cedis to rescue Kumawood film industry. So Ghana's struggling filming industry is set for a financial lifeline after Finance Minister Dr. Kaisel Ato-Forson announced a 20 million injection to revive Kumawood and other film association. During the 2026 budget presentation, the Minister for Finance revealed the film fund will provide seed capital aimed at rescuing Kumawood from near collapse caused by digital disruption, piracy, and poor funding. And an additional 20 million was allocated to support the wider creative economy, including music, arts, and the fashion sector. But before we even go to the reviving Kumawood, I mean, how was Kumawood for you those times when Kumawood was Kumawood?
So, look, I'm not proud of this, but I've never been a fan of local movies.
Oh,
no. Look, I just want to be honest on this, so that you don't see my comments as biased. I have not been a fan of. No, wait. And when I say local stuff, I'm not talking about only Ghana. You know, when it comes to African movies, two giants are Ghana and Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I have not been a fan of it. But when I started becoming, or I started enjoying the local movies, was when I started watching the Nigerian duo Aki and Popo.
Okay.
When they did so you know their kind of stuff, it's like the Kumawood kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I started looking at that and I was watching those things, that was when it began to dawn on me, okay, what is Ghana doing about these kinds of things? Because when I was growing up, I saw many beautiful things on the Ghanaian television. Yeah. And I feel like technically we were better than Nigeria way back. But currently Nigeria has taken over the creative. So I was thinking, what are these people doing that Ghanaians can do? So when I started seeing the rise of people like Lil Wayne, Ejako, Akrobeto and Co., I said, okay, yeah, this is it. Now, so I will not go to buy to watch, but when I had the chance to watch, I searched through it.
Oh, there was
I always enjoyed it because the comedy part of it is a thing you cannot take. Look, and these things, they take it or leave it. The way they make you release stress and like they make you think freely. So back then I used to do a lot of trips to Tamale and to Brekum. So on the STC bus, every time, and I'm so glad that they instituted that thing on STC, and I think later on VIP and Co also picked it up. So when you're traveling,
but currently they are even still doing it, but just that it's not, people are not so much interested when you show
that's
these
because
movies.
Exactly the reason this the finance minister is doing what he has to do, because that industry has lost a certain vibe. It hasn't got a lot of support when it comes to infrastructure, equipment, whatever. So it is look, to be honest, the 20 million for me is small, but
that's what I knew knew that was
it is a good start.
Yeah.
Because 20 million cities is not small money.
It
It's just that
can
compared
do-
to what
it
we are
can.
thinking, it's a small.
Yeah.
But because when you think about Hollywood and the kind of amount of money Hollywood generates, and even individuals like Tyler Perry, like when you think about the figures in billions of dollars, you can just see that 20 million cities is like a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it's a good start. We will move on from there. But I just hope that when we start these things, we keep it going consistently. That's what I always talk about sustainability when it comes to things with regards to Africa. We always have ideas, we have policies, but we don't have a great sustainability plan.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't just make it look like, okay, 20 million and then probably this is the only one we are going to see within the next 4 years of the for the remaining governments in power. Like, I mean, like, we need to see some level of consistency so that, okay, maybe this year's budget we have seen 20 million.
Yeah.
Next year maybe another 10 million or not, like something, and we'll build on it. The next governments, whether MPPNs, whatever, should improve, and we'll build, because it's a matter of time. I mean, we always see Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah.
So we can't just feel like we have done 20 million and then that's about it. No, we need to keep improving it. I would love to see this industry grow because, for example, in Nigeria, it's one of the industries that is making them great money.
Yeah.
And
Nigerian
when you
movies
check
are
on Netflix now, when you talk about movies from Africa, number one is South Africa, and then I think there's some Eastern African countries, and then there's Nigeria.
Yeah.
I've not seen any Ghanaian movie on Netflix
Oh,
yet.
no, not
The
at all.
production and
Well,
the quality is some way.
So for I would take it from the fact that, I mean, Ghana has got a lot of actors and
Yes,
actresses.
great actors.
We talk about Vivian Jill. We talk,
Great
and
people.
when I was young, there was this movie that I always put on repeat. As you spoke about the humor it brings.
Yeah.
There was this movie called Kumasi Yonko or
Yes,
something like
yes.
that. Yeah,
I remember
and
that
you see
movie.
Messi Siedu and all these
Yeah,
people. I
yeah.
mean, now you even see their current life right now, and some of them have even left
They
the
have left the
country.
country.
If you remember this woman so well, Chewa.
Yes.
She's no more in
I
Ghana.
hear she's doing some media
Yeah,
stuff in the US.
she's
So
doing
the
so
question,
well.
if the industry was doing well, why would she relocate?
I mean, you are saying
Yeah.
the right thing, but I think there should be, as you said, there should be more than just the money.
Yeah.
There should be a critical eye that we give to our film
Absolutely,
industry.
absolutely.
Fine, you give them the money, then what next? There should be some ways to revive, because we have great, I don't know if they would want to get back into acting, people like Nana McBrown.
They can. They
But
can.
I mean, we could do something, because these people are still on our screens and they are doing amazingly well when it comes to different industries. So we are looking forward to having our Kumawood industry restored and revamped by, I mean, with this amount of money that has been put in. So we are looking forward to having it. Now we can battle with Nigeria, because I mean, Nigeria has been taking the spotlight for too long. So now that we are reviving Ghana's Kumawood, let's see how we can battle. This is a good battle, a positive one, of course.
Positive one.
All right.
And talking about battles, I know you don't do football, but unfortunately,
Me, I don't do
yesterday,
football.
the journey ended for Nigeria. They cannot go to the 2026 World Cup.
Okay.
You see, Nigeria was waiting. They were bold enough to tell us that they are waiting when they qualify for the World Cup. Then they'll come and troll us as to why we cannot go to the African Cup in December. But now
they are
it is
out.
one day. And unfortunately, the World Cup is bigger than the African Cup.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there.
We'll leave
you
it
can
there.
judge for yourself.
That's
We are not
good.
against Nigeria, but
That's a
it is
good
what it
battle.
is.
That's a good one. Don't worry, Nigerians, you are still our sister country, and we'll support
you in the AFCON. Come
in
and
every
support
way
us
that
in
we
the
can.
World Cup.
Exactly. So this has been the Hello Africa Morning Show, and this is the end of the lifestyle segment, bringing an end to the whole show for today. And it's been an amazing discussion, right from our top stories, top African news, to our news review, and then to lifestyle. My name is Jemima Daladem Duche. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms, Association of African Investees, on Facebook and YouTube. And I did this with
Philemon Edwards. See you next time.